Priyashi from Delhi, who has overcome a few things with the help of her coach. But I'll call the
Rack it up, I got a bit of the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's session. And this is Joyce Prabhu here. I'm from Bangalore and a wellness coach. Today, I take a lot of pride and pleasure to introduce Priyakshi, who has overcome her health challenges. She has applied a lot of principles from the WQ community and has reversed her conditions. We'll get to hear the entire story from her. So, can I help bring up Priyakshi, please? Hi, Priyakshi. Welcome to today's session. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, good morning, and warm welcome to everyone who has joined this session. My name is Priyakshi Gupta, and I'm from Noida. I recently shifted to Noida. I was in Delhi earlier, and my husband's name is Mr. Sudeep Gupta. And currently, I'm on a career break. So I think that's about it about myself. Thank you.
Nice. So, Priyakshi, when you got introduced to the WQ community, what was your challenge that you had, and how did you get connected to the WQ community?
So before joining WQ community, I had just completed 4 years of my marriage, and the challenge that I was facing was with conception, and I was also diagnosed with PCOD along with delayed periods, and so while trying to conceive, there were multiple hospital visits. I had switched gynae after gynae, and with all those medications and all, I had also tried follicle monitoring, which was another painful experience. So over time, with a lot of challenges like that, when you are not seeing any hope, I had actually given up on the idea of conceiving. So I was just having my PCOD medicines, and that was a challenge that I had faced before joining Wellness Quotient.
So, how did you get introduced to the Wellness Quotient community, Priyakshi?
Right. So, in my earlier workplace, I chanced upon meeting Miss Vinita Sinha, who is my coach. And so we found out that we were staying in the same neighborhood. So we had started commuting together. So one fine day, we were just discussing about various lifestyle diseases that people generally face these days. And I ended up sharing briefly about how I was having PCOD, and there was no chance of conceiving as such, because in spite of medications and the alternatives that my doctors had suggested, I was just going through a dark cave without any solution. So that is when Miss Vinita Sinha told me that, why don't you join Wellness Quotient? And here we do not, make you go through a lot of, hard and fast rules and regulations as such, but we majorly monitor your plates and diet. So I thought, of course, I discussed with my family members and my husband that this is something different. I mean, I'm not exactly following a rigid thing. These are just minor changes that I'll be asked to follow. So you all are with me in this or no. So with, of course, my coach support and my family's support, I embarked on my journey into Wellness Quotient's guidance and support. So that's how I joined the community.
Nice. So, Priyakshi, what were the changes once you got started with us? What were the changes that you did? And if you could just brief a little bit about that.
Right. So, as I mentioned, that there was, of course, it started with my plates monitoring, followed by reduction and addition in terms of changes with respect to what I should have and what I should reject. So, of course, there were dietary changes. where I was asked to include a lot of protein and salads. So where, we are having, let's say, just maybe 1 or 2 cucumbers for the entire family, I was asked to have a bowl full of salads so that my fiber intake is in place. Then I was also suggested to take detox water early in the morning and avoid having tea. Then there were a lot of supplements that were recommended to me with all the natural nutrients, which were really helpful. Then I was also asked to follow a workout routine, but due to my hectic schedule, as my workplace was quite far from my residential area, I couldn't spend dedicated time there. And the alternative that was suggested to me was to track my steps. So I was able to cover around 8,000 to 10,000 steps on a daily basis. And a part of the changes that my coach had suggested, Joyce and Vinita, they would actually, push forward and motivate with regular checkups and weekly calls on a timely basis. So, which made me remain focused in this journey. So, these were a couple of changes that were recommended to me and which kept me focused so that I could follow them diligently.
Nice. So, how easy or how challenging were the changes for you?
So, to be very honest, of course, it was not easy in the beginning because your entire plate or your meal plan is just going topsy-turvy. Not exactly topsy-turvy. I mean, in the beginning, it feels like that because while living in a joint family, you are having a set meal plan, right? And there you are the only one who is shifting your diet there. For instance, I was asked to avoid chai and have detox water. Then coming from a Bengali family, I couldn't even imagine not having rice on a daily basis. So I switched from rice to millets. Then a lot of salads, and salads usually they make one feel quite heavy. And that was challenging because salads means you have to do a lot of chopping. I mean, your cook is coming at a different time when you are not at home. And while you are at home, you have to, prepare all these things for yourself. So planning, cooking, preparing, and of course, the cycle repeats itself. So, of course, diet changes. It indeed was a challenge initially. And then having less salads to more, then cooking at odd hours. Maybe I'm preparing a night before, and then I'm again, doing the remaining early in the morning. Then I had 2 coaches literally after me. So every time I was, having any gap or I was lagging behind, my coaches were literally after me. And so instead of a fortnightly call, they would come back with a weekly call so that I'm on track. And so there was pressure as well, and a lot of things going around. Then I'm someone who loves to go out of the way and have all kinds of different food items to satiate my cravings. So that kind of stopped. And while having millets, of course, I realized that I was feeling full and there was no additional cravings or hunger that I was feeling to, kind of lose the track of my meals. Also, another thing was investing in the supplements because they were at a higher price as compared to what you usually get in the market. But later on, one realizes that as long as it is benefiting your health, I think it is quite an investment, both in terms of time, patience, and the amount that you're spending. So these were a couple of challenges that I had faced.
Actually, why don't you tell us about your chai? Because that was something which you were very passionate about. What was it that you did?
So I mean, it's about to be a year since I had joined Wellness Community, and so what used to happen was that I was okay with adding things, but I was not okay with reducing things, especially my morning cup of chai with product, not even your green tea or organic tea or without milk, without sugar, proper milk and proper sugar. So that was that was the first thing that I used to have early in the morning, and getting rid of chai was even worse than getting rid of rice. So one day, of course, went to office with a headache. 2 days, 3 days, gradually, I also realized that if I'm having detox water and chai together, of course, I was facing acidity issues. So I thought, okay, fine, let me slowly reduce tea and it's almost been a year that I have not had my, I've not started my day with a cup of tea. It's very momentary, but if given a chance, I'm okay with not having a cup of tea the entire day. I mean, someone who used to have a headache without tea, here I'm waking up in the morning, I mean, all bright and happy. It's not that without a cup of coffee or without a cup of tea, I can't start my day. So bye tea. That's how it went with
And
this year.
among your supplements, what was it that you found? And very nice, because you were saying that one of your supplements, you really fell in love with it. What was it?
That was Amway Daily, because it, rid me of my fatigue, then tiredness, and I would always feel energetic throughout the day. That lethargy had gone completely.
Nice. So, with all these changes, Priyakshi, what was it that you found as results? What were your results?
Right. So, before coming to the result, I would also like to share one more thing, that in between there was a point where of course I was showing minor results, and Miss Vinita was always encouraging and seeing those changes, be it in my skin, be it on my face, be it on my energy levels, as I used to share with her. So the first result that I actually saw was I just went for a random ultrasound with a radiologist, and I was shocked to see that there was no PCOD pattern as detected. So I had asked that radiologist that, are you sure? Because I have been having PCOD for years. And the doctor said that, no, there is no PCOD pattern. I mean, there are no cysts in your ovaries. They are not bulky. And otherwise, I always used to get bulky ovaries as a result of my ultrasound. Then I asked the doctor that, look, doctor, I'm having delayed periods again of about 40 days. So the radiologist just told me that, no, there's no pattern. So I asked him that, so what are you suggesting? That I have been having conception issues. I mean, you don't usually say all these, talk so much to a radiologist, go for a scan. But I was so shocked to see, I couldn't believe my ears when he told me that they're all normal. So I said that, can I conceive naturally then, without any other special medication? Radiologists say, yeah, go and conceive naturally. Go ahead. Your uterus and ovaries are absolutely normal, absolutely fine. There's no issue. And so that was one major result that I found. Second, the first 2 months, yes, my periods were delayed, but the amount of the delay that was happening had somewhat reduced. So from 40 to 50, I came down to around 35 to 36. So that was result number 2. But again, like when things happen in a positive rate, again, one negative kind of, creates a gap. So again, I was having a delayed cycle of around 40 to 45 days. And I thought that, hey, I think again, something is wrong and it's not working. Maybe it gave me a temporary benefit or something, this entire program. So I ended up sending a message to Joyce and Vinita that, look, I don't think this is working. Maybe it was just an initial change because I had switched my diet and everything, but I think my body is not supporting. And I would like to quit because I'm not seeing those major changes that I want to see. So they had tried their best to kind of hold me on to the entire program. And while I was having the delayed periods, which led me to go for an ultrasound, I'd also asked them that, look, if at all I am on the path of conceiving, do you think I can have all the supplements that have been recommended to me? And Joyce told me that, see, you can have your ABC supplements, but your DEF supplements you will have to reduce because these are not good for the baby and these are not good when you get pregnant. So that statement kind of stuck with me in spite of sending that message of discontinuing with the program. So for 2 to 3 months, for 2 months, I had given up on those routine calls and follow-ups and, kind of contacting both my coaches. Yes, I think that was too harsh. But so I gave up, but I still had a flicker of hope, which led me to continue silently. So when I said that I had that statement of Joyce in my mind that if these supplements are good, I'm only going to have these. And in those 1.5 months, I was having a delay of around 50 to 51 days. And suddenly my husband told me one day that, look, you're having this delay. So I said, yeah, even I was wondering, we should check with a gynecologist once again as to why they are again irregular. My husband said, why don't you go for a pregnancy test? I said, it's not possible at all, right? Because there's a certain date and time and etc. I said, okay, fine. If you say, because I don't trust these pregnancy kits anymore, I went ahead and did my test. So early in the morning, I was not even looking at the kit. I said, okay, fine. I was ready to even throw that off, that kit, knowing that it would just show me one, single red dark line. So I was like, okay, fine, I'm done 5-10 minutes. And, you just kind of double check, like, kya, huh? Your double line there. And I rushed out of the washroom and I showed it to my husband. And I said, Sudeep, what is this? I mean, it is faint, but not too faint. It is kind of dark, but not too dark, but there is a double line. What is this? So even Sudeep wouldn't believe his eyes. Early in the morning at 6 a.m., I just woke up the entire house. My in-laws even called my mom. Everybody was asleep. And like, yeah, you are pregnant. I said, look, I don't believe this. You guys can rejoice. I was still not happy at that. So I told Sudeep that, just book the earliest slot with, all these lab testing agencies. I'm going to do that HCG blood test. Without that report, I'm not going to believe that I'm pregnant, because this can be a false positive. I mean, that was the level of trust issues that I had, because I'd completely given up on this idea of conceiving. I mean, I'd cried nights after nights. I'd had fights with my husbands that, let's drop the idea of having a baby, etc. We are not going to have, just remove this idea. So it was that frustrating between the remaining times of those 4 years of marriage. And momentarily, these challenges used to arise. So my blood reports came later in the afternoon. And when I saw that rise in the HCG level, that is when I was able to believe from my heart and mind and soul that, yes, so this is happening. I am pregnant. I went to the gynae and I told her that, how is it, when you are not exactly trying at the right time. So my doctor said it's a case of delayed conception. And that is when I realized that this was indeed a clear case of miracle, as well as my coach's support, as well as wellness quotient. So whole and whole, it actually rekindled my faith in the idea of miracles. I mean, meeting Vinita at the right time during that brief moment, and how just things fall in place, right? A workplace, a colleague, we are not even there together. That is no longer our workplace. Just that 1 year, and how the universe kind of conspires to bring everything together. And on top of it, their support, their patience, your dedication, your journey. I think that is where I am today. And also,
Awesome.
there was also a moment when I had actually quit the program. Vinita met me in office and she used to tell me, hey, Priyakshi, you should come back and join this program. You should continue with this supplements. And at that time I was 2 months pregnant, and I was still here to like disclose that I'm pregnant. But so in our culture, what happens is that before 3 months, you're not supposed to disclose. As soon as I had completed 3 months, I rushed to her lab and I told her, Vinita, I have some news. So she thought maybe I'm quitting or something. I said, no, I'm 3 months pregnant. And she gave me the warmest hug. And I was filled with so much gratitude at that time, that the reason why I was not responding to, coming back to the program was because, I mean, the result is here. And here I am on my 8th month, still in gratitude, while winning with joy with Vinita and Joyce, which I keep on telling these two coaches who have been after me, who have been so patient, and I'm eternally grateful to both of them for
Awesome,
being with me in
Priyash.
this journey.
Congratulations on your achievement. And one message to people who are in a similar journey like yours, what would that be?
So I think it would be like, please keep your health as your priority, and trust your instincts, especially when you know that you are helping your body with natural nutrients, and don't quit, don't give up, because in this program, you're the one who's benefiting more. Your coaches are there to guide you, but you're the one who's at the receiving end of everything. So the emotional, also your physical benefits, it's indeed a whole in whole approach towards your lifestyle, your health, and your mind, body, and soul.
Thank you, Priyanshi. Thank you for sharing your story. It's so heartwarming to hear your story again. And can we spotlight Vinita Sinha, because she has helped Priyanshi a lot during this journey. Congratulations. And thank you for sharing your story.
Wow. What an inspiring story. I'm sure everybody's touched by listening to your story, Priyanshi. And somebody wrote in the comments, and I would echo that your would-be child has just received blessings from 500 plus people in 300 plus windows. So God bless you, and